Hello, fellow dog men, dog ladies, YouTubers. Hope everybody's doing great today. It's a nice, beautiful day today. Nice Sunday. So, today, first I want to talk about fake dog men. And that is, you got these guys or whatever that buy a dog and it's, oh man, look at this badass pedigree I got, man. Look at this new dog. And then about 5, 6 months, maybe even a year later, you know, they're like, man, look at this new blood I'm running now. And you're like, what happened to the old shit? Oh, that shit, man, it wasn't any good. I guess what I'm trying to say is nobody has faith in their dogs anymore. Like nobody stands behind their shit. You can get good dogs off of any bloodline out there. You just pick which one you like. It's really based on the dog, what you're looking for, the breeding standards of your yard, you know. And then, you know, you make it better. You don't give up on it. It's like, I mean, I can see where there are cold dogs, curs, whatever. That's in every bloodline. That's part of being a breeder. That's part of, you know, the culling process, which, you know, all that means is you don't use that dog. You know, like me personally, I get them fixed. And like if I have a bad one out of a litter, a bad couple of them out of the litter, I get them fixed. And I charge, like I'll say, free to a good home with papers. And then I'll, you know, charge like a rehoming fee of $200. And that's just to cover the cost of, you know, me getting it fixed. And so with that being said, nobody, imagine like if you were like let's say you're in your 40s now and you're successful, but when you were 18, 19, even in your 20s, you know, you were just a complete fuck up. You know, I mean, it's kind of the same thing. They never give these dogs a chance to mature before they're ready to get rid of it and call it a cur or the bloodline is shit. They think that they can just stick it on a chain and it's just all of a sudden supposed to be this great dog. Being a great dog is 50% the dog and 50% the dog man. I mean, and that is the truth. These dogs only know what you teach them. And they're only gonna be at their best with good food, clean water, and time. You have to spend time with these dogs. Like Stomper. Damn it, I just raked up shit. And you done shit again, boy. You nasty boy. Killed my hen yesterday. Ate the whole thing. He didn't even share it with nobody. Little pig. But, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So, you have to spend time with these dogs, like Stomper. Like, every time he gets on a rope, he immediately starts shaking. And that's because I taught him. When I say shake, he shakes. It don't matter what's going on around him. When I say shake, he shakes it. Or even now, I've worked with him so much that as soon as he gets whatever in his mouth, he immediately starts shaking. Because he knows that's what I'm gonna say. Shake, shake. But you have to teach them. It's like on these hogs, somebody commented that on one of my videos about a restrained pit bull is a sign of a responsible owner, that my dog was animal aggressive and I made him this way. So first of all, I want to point out, how do I make a dog make a dog animal aggressive without breaking at least a dozen laws? I mean, that's impossible to do. I was trying to prove to that person that it's bred in them, and they refuse to think that prey drive is something that's bred, it's taught. And so I told this person, I said, okay, well, if it's learned behavior, then it can be unlearned. which brings me to another point. Every time they confiscate a bunch of dogs, and then 2 weeks later, you hear that, you know, they were all euthanized because they were used in dog fighting and couldn't be rehabilitated, which means they couldn't change the animal aggression that they had towards other animals. Well, isn't that a bred thing then, like a trait? It's not learned behavior then. So that's like a whole contradictory in itself right there. Because if I made my dog to be animal aggressive, then I can unmake him be animal aggressive. And they wouldn't have to be euthanized, especially in the hands of professionals. I mean, wouldn't you think? So anyway, but yeah, man, I can't stand when people post videos or pictures or whatever on Facebook of this badass dog they've got, and they're wanting you to, like, hey, look at my dog. And the first thing I do is look at the water. And there'll be some pictures that's like freaking green water with algae all in the bowl. I mean, at that point, I don't even care about looking at the dog. Now I'm like, why don't you get the dog some fucking clean water, man? So anyway, people just don't stand behind their dogs anymore. They don't give them a chance. Like, you know, back in the day, you know, a dog didn't look, I mean, look at Rascal. He quit. Imagine where we'd be without Rascal. Look at Honey Bunch. She quit first time out. Imagine where we'd be without Honey Bunch. I mean, sometimes dogs just have bad days. Sometimes it could be the diet. Sometimes it's something you did, too many vitamins or whatever, you know, that made them, you know, run hot or something like that. But, you know, my point being, they always stuck them on a chain, looked at them again in 3 or 4 months. You know what I'm saying? Like, hunted them again. If they didn't act right, put them back on the chain. If they didn't like what they wanted or didn't see what they wanted, they didn't just, you know, get rid of the dog. They knew it had good blood, so they worked with it. They kept working with it and working with it. Until finally, you know, they got what they wanted. It might have taken them 2 years or even 3. And that's why, you know, they say, well, some dogs take 2 to 3 years to come out. It just depends on the bloodline. It depends on how inbred they are. Raven, them ears, man. Them ears. What are you doing, girl? She's a feisty little bitch, though. She's ugly, but she's feisty. She won't back down from none of them out here. And she's like, I don't know, 6, 7 months old probably. But anyway, I was out here doing waters and, you know, raking. And I just started thinking about these dogs and the bloodlines and how so many people are breeding cold dogs. And I just started thinking, I wonder how much time they spent with the dog. Did they just put the dog on a chain and then, you know, and wait 18 months and say, okay, well, this dog is fixing to hunt? You can't put a time frame on when a dog matures. I mean, we all know that a dog is fully matured physically in 24 months. Mentally, maybe not so much. But sometimes I just don't think these dogs get a fair shake. I think every dog can be, you know, let me just put it this way. The more time you spend with the dog, the more of what you want to see is going to be there. Echo, what are you doing? I just fucking raked, you weirdo. God damn. Come here, girl. Come here, girl. Yeah. It was bred 3 weeks ago, but, you know, I can't really tell. Ah! Echo! I'm gonna bust your ass, girl. What the fuck? I just fucking raked. You hungry, huh? Alright. Maybe she is. Maybe she got an increase in appetite. So, I'm going to go inside and get you some food, girl. First, I'm gonna clean up that pile of shit you over there sniffing on. But yeah, man, you get out what you put in. So, clean water, good food. Ah! Oh, girl. All right, let me go get a shovel. God damn, I just fucking raked. So, there's something else I want to talk about. I can't really remember what the freak it was. Oh, another thing is I was gonna add on some kennels right here, but instead I think I'm gonna put up a privacy fence or block off this section of the yard. Because I'm telling you, these damn people, not anyone around me, all my neighbors are cool, but I make sure we're cool. Like, I do shit for them. If they're going out of town, I watch their place, feed their cats or whatever. And just help them out if they need it. And oh, if you are, let's say, living somewhere that you don't have tethering laws and you keep your animals tethered like I do mine during the day, don't call them chain outs. Call them exercise stations. And then put up a sign that says exercise station. Like, see this spot right here where Stomper's at has the spring pole, and I know it's just hooked to a branch, but it's got a spring pole and all that, and I keep it loosely braided. This is actually like a horse lead because it's softer. They can sink their teeth into it, and I unravel it from this, and then I rebraid it into loose braids. This one's kind of fucked up. Debo fucked this one up, but it's still real soft. They can't hurt their teeth. I told you a Stomper killed one of my hens, and I guess he ate it. So, oh well. Now I'm down to two. I got a rooster and one hen. So that's a pretty hen. I mean, a rooster right there. He's a cross between a black Sumatra and jungle fowl. So he's pretty. So anyway, this was just a short video. I haven't put anything up that's positive in a while. You know, it seems like all I've been doing is ranting about these laws and dogs being confiscated. That I just wanted to do something like just, I don't know, do something that wasn't so worrying. All right, girl, I go inside and get you some food. Yeah, I'll get you some. Hopefully you're pregnant and you're not just tricking me, fooling me into getting extra food. I've been feeding her usual plus a half of another bowl. I'm still only feeding one time a day, but she's getting a whole extra half of feeding. She's getting her usual plus a half, another whole half of the fat. She's getting another half a dose of fat and half a dose of kale and another egg. By the way, if you do raw eggs, where you break up the shell and all that and just throw it in there, only do that like every 3 days or something, because that will give them the shits. So if you're gonna try to do egg every day, if I do egg every day, what I do is I boil it, I leave the shell on it, just cut it in half and that gets put into, that feeds 2 dogs. So they get half an egg a day if I got extra because of the chickens. But these days I have not had extra because I don't really have any chickens anymore. I have 2. I had 3 until yesterday. But yeah, on all your chain outs, these are exercise stations. Put a post in the ground or a piece of PVC and put a spring pole over there. Make sure they got, like Debo, like he loves his freaking tire over there. Make sure they got toys, stuff to play with. It helps, you know, it proves your point that, hey, this is an exercise station. So I got to get out here and do spring poles at all these stations, and then I'm gonna get some signs made, and I'll probably just make them myself or something and laminate them, and then like hang some on this. I might just do one big sign on that wall right there, and then just put exercise stations, you know. But yeah, man, it's all about terminology, because they want to call it one thing, but you can call it something else, and you know, it's not like it's not true. This is where they get their exercise. This is where they get their sun. This is where they get their, you know, their playtime. And you know, people want to say chains. You know, I really, honestly, you don't need a big chain. I mean, 1/4-inch links is fine. That's what I use. I mean, I think that one right there might be, it might be 5/16, but I think it's 1/4. But the majority I use is 1/4. That one's 3/16 because that's a puppy. That's a puppy tie out, because I don't want them having to pull all that extra weight. But let me see if I can find it right here. So at Tractor Supply, they want to charge like $3 and $4 a foot for chain. This chain right here, 1/4-inch length, you can get 100 foot for 80 bucks. And if people don't think that's a deal, they're crazy. Because a 10-foot chain at $4 a foot is 40 bucks. I can get 100 feet of 1/4-inch chain. This is galvanized steel, not any aluminum or anything like that. But you find them on eBay. I just happened to be looking on eBay one day, and I was looking for links or swivels or something, and came across the chain. And I got a buddy of mine to go in halves with me. So he put in 40 and I put in 40, and we each got 50 foot of chain. That's 5 tie outs, because I switched to, instead of 12 foot, I switched to 10-foot chains. This is a 10-foot chain, or exercise station. But yeah, make sure that you always have clean water. Like, you, any time of the day, you can walk up to my dogs, and that's what their water looks like. No algae in the buckets. I mean, if you use buckets or whatever, but I mean, even when the dogs aren't in the kennel, which I know they're going in this evening, so I went ahead and did waters, but make sure everything is freaking clean. Also, another thing, scoop up the shit. I just finished scooping up, I guess they, but I just put them on the chain. I raked up all the shit from yesterday evening, and put them on the chain. I guess they some of them waited to shit till they got out on the dirt. But what I'm getting at is the flies. Flies are out now, they're coming out. By the way, go ahead and put your flea control out. You know, mine all got to be sprayed today, but I switched last summer and it caused me a problem. I switched to a concentrate that you mix with water and then you have to spray. And I thought the shit was working until I realized it wasn't working. I mean, if fleas is something you might see 1 or 2 and you don't think there's a problem, then one day there's 5 times that much and you're like, fuck, now I got a problem. Preventative measures cost less than curing a problem or fixing a problem. If you can prevent it, I know it's a little bit of money here and there and you're like, I don't really have a flea problem, I don't really need it. Well, it's because you've been using it this way, you don't have a flea problem. So just stay with the if you stay with it, then you know, you won't have a problem. But fixing it, like once it is a problem, is costly. But I use I've always used it, and I went back to it and I just spread 160,000 square feet yesterday. It was like I don't know, it was a big bag. But I use the 7 granules, kills like 100 different insects, and I do this whole area from the shed all the way to the grapevines right there where that light pole is. So I do this whole area all in here. I do underneath the kennels. Remember, they like dark, shaded areas. So, and you have to, you know, water down your chain spots or your exercise stations. You have to water down the area to activate it. So don't water it so much where it dissolves, because you want it to get, their chain will help get it actually in the dirt. But that's what I like about it, is once it's in the dirt, it's in the dirt, and they can't live there. As soon as they hatch, they die. But the 7s always work for me. I don't do the concentrate anymore. Last summer was the first time I used it, and it gave me a problem. So I'm gonna stay with the 7 granules. People say you're supposed to switch and all that the fleas build up an immunity to whatever you're using. I ain't never had that problem. I've always used the 7 granules, and now I'm gonna stay with it. So anyway, good luck to everybody. Thank you for the support, all the great comments, man. I love the people in the Warmouth family that subscribe to this channel, because I feel like we got a good group of people here. I feel like we got knowledgeable dogmen. Everybody I talk to has been in it for years, and some still have the same bloodline, still running the same bloodline as they did 20 years ago. And I love that. I love somebody that stands behind their dogs, and instead of just giving up on that bloodline, they fix it. They find what is lacking, and they fix it. They might cross it. They might go to a different family, same blood but different family. So that in itself is a cross, you know. And you're not scatterbreeding. Your pedigree won't look, you know, all scatterbred. But yeah, we got a great bunch here. I think everybody looks out for everybody here. I try to let y'all know anything that I hear about dog laws and, you know, things to be aware of. But honestly, put signs up for exercise stations. Make sure your dogs are hidden from the public eye, where somebody from the road can't see them. And don't let anybody on your property, law enforcement, animal control, anybody, unless they got a warrant. So with that being said, y'all, I don't have really anything else to say. So good luck, keep scratching, and I'll catch you on the next video.